with names and faces, but it always surprises me when people act like polyamory is such a foreign concept, because have you ever talked to a first grader about their love life? They always have like 6 or 7 boyfriends, and they want to marry all of them. So a really unique thing about my life is that all my exes are perfect. I actually had the ideal first boyfriend. And the thing about my first boyfriend is that he was really nice, but deeply unambitious. He was the male ideal, passive and clueless. When you're choosing your first boyfriend, you want to choose someone who will treat you well, but doesn't know what a syllabus is. He'll teach you how to love and what not to do with your money. So I guess the only downside to my first boyfriend is that when we were becoming intimate, things got a little temperate, like steamy in the wrong way. So we were lying in bed, post-coitus, and right beneath his ass there was this large puddle that just kept getting larger and larger. And so I was like, hey babe, what's that? He was like, don't worry about it, my balls just get a little sweaty sometimes. So yeah, but he was more than sweaty. The room was humid. There was sweat condensating and dripping down the walls. Going down on him was actually a sublime experience. I was a wanderer over a sea of fog. You know there's a problem when you're giving a guy head and your glasses fog up? Anyone here ever been through a breakup? Yeah, lesbian breakup? Okay, stay strong. Yeah, the thing about lesbian breakups is that you get nostalgic about the strangest things. Because when you go through a straight breakup, you're like, oh, we were gonna buy a farm together and our kids would go bobbing for apples. But when you're going through a lesbian breakup, it's like, what about our IVF kids? What's gonna happen to our test tube babies? We're just gonna leave them high and dry and wait for some other gay couple to adopt them? So I think that being kinky is a healthy form of creative expression. But there are some things that I do not think should be considered normal, like wearing leopard print and thinking that it's sexy. My friends, that is cat fur! So weird. When I go shopping for lingerie, I'm not like, which of these looks most like a cat? But I guess I understand, because if I had to have sex with any large mammal, I would also choose a leopard. They are Africa's apex predator. They are known to drag their prey into trees before they eat them. When I mean, like, take me out to dinner first. They also have notoriously loud sex, and they breed with the passion of 1,000 fires, and it's really quite impressive. So I'm a bit of a late bloomer when it comes to breeding. I didn't have my first kiss until I was 18 years old, but I sure shook a lot of hands on the high school debate team. So the thing about my teenage years is that they were less pubescent and more pre-professional. While my peers were writing love letters, I was editing Wikipedia articles. And while they were banging their significant other, I was banging a gavel at my weekly debate meetings. Decorum! Yeah. So yeah, after a while, I began to wonder if I would ever find love when my formative teenage years were filled with political roundtables instead of important social experiences. Like, I just wish we'd had like a mating ritual, like one of those fruity little birds. Like maybe a sandhill crane. Of all the birds with courtship dances, their choreography is the easiest to learn. Or maybe the sweaty, stinky cavemen had the right idea, because they didn't cover up their natural pheromones with Axe body spray, and for them, rank pussy was an evolutionary advantage. Sometimes I wish I was a Republican, because I think it would be really hot to have AOC yell at me and humiliate me and make me feel small. So when I watch Dora the Explorer, I sometimes wonder if they've ever heard of democracy, because that conniving little fox swiper just goes around robbing families and terrorizing children, and nobody does anything about it. But if I lived in the Dora cinematic universe, I would protest. I would exercise my right to free speech. Like, has Dora ever read Civil Disobedience by Thomas Paine? You see, I hope that someday Dora, Boots, Backpack, and Map will take Ted to the streets and be like, this is what democracy looks like, swiper, no swiping. And then they'll create their perfect future. So I recently told my roommate that I think I could do porn if I didn't have to do sex on camera. And she was like, oh, so you mean acting? And she's right. Porn without the sex is just acting. So drama majors, you're halfway there. So yeah, the thing about pornographers is they just haven't figured out how to mesh the intimacy coordination with the dramaturgical elements. Like, there's not much substance to it. So I think that the way to improve porn is to have two separate couples on screen. The first, they would establish the context. They'd be Juilliard trained, they'd deliver some gut-wrenching dialogue, and then it would just cut to another couple having sex. And I think that'd be a lot better. I think I'd be really good at porn. I think if a handyman came and fixed my toilet and I didn't have enough money to pay him, I could show the audience grief. I'd fall to my knees. I'd even cry real tears. And then it would cut to another couple having sex. They'd be kissing, they'd have leopard print on, and hopefully there'd be no ball sweat. All right.